It's time! Let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the jam, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Toon Review YouTube channel, where tonight it is Fan Forum Live with myself and a very, very happy Jayde after Heben's performance in the FA Vars on Sunday. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. How's everyone? Hope you're well.
Yes, and we may as well just touch up on Heben's victory on Sunday. Tremendous game of football, really enjoyable game of football, and really put our senior team to shame, really, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I don't think I've enjoyed watching a game of football from a local team as much in a very long time.
Yeah,
I think both teams did absolutely brilliant. It was end-to-end stuff, and I think they did put the professionals to shame. They left that on the pitch, and that's what you want to see from a footballer. So yeah, it was a really enjoyable game.
Yeah. How were you feeling when they went behind twice?
Oh, do you know what? These lads, I've watched them week in, week out. They're so tenacious, and everything that I wish Newcastle were. They never ever let anything go. So I knew they would push on. And I knew they had the quality to get behind, but then obviously Ollie Martins with a great finish for towards the end just kind of tipped it off, because I was getting a bit nervous because they don't do penalties well. But no,
nobody does. Nobody does. Interesting comment here from Brian. He says, "Hi Paul, have you heard Man City have taken the Premier League to court over FFP breaches? I'm sorry, but have you seen the City players? 1.6 billion spent on the team. I mean." This financial fair play has just been a load of crap for me. It doesn't even exist as far as I'm concerned, because the big teams just spend what they want, don't they?
Well, exactly, and they get away with it as well. So I don't know what they're complaining about. But it's nice to see the Premier League getting a bit more pressure as well. I think it's coming abundantly clear that they're not running things the way they should. So more pressure on them, the better for us, I think.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to come on the show, guys, as usual, the link to come on is in the live comments. It's pinned at the top, so get yourself on and have a bit of a natter with me and Jayde. I'm just adjusting my camera here because I think it's a bit high. I've changed all the setup in here, and it's you what?
That was beautiful.
Oh, the pitch. Yeah. Oh, you'd rather look at the pitch. That's fair enough. Thanks, Jayde. Anyway, we'll get our first guest on, and it is the myth, the man is Chippers. Good evening.
Hello, you all right?
Aye, not too bad. So then, Chippers, what did you think of that wonderful performance against Arsenal?
I think you and John in the watch along was more had better highlights in the match. I just thought it was absolutely. I thought it was embarrassing, and I thought what Bruce said after the match was disrespectful to the fans because it was a complete lie.
I mean, that's the thing. It's absolutely disgusting what Steve Bruce said after the game, as far as I'm concerned, about being, the lads put their effort in and everything like that. There wasn't any effort in that match from the start. We were absolutely garbage. And you could see in the first 5 minutes what was going to happen in the game. It was just going that way from the start. Obviously, this man scored the opening goal, which was El Neni for Arsenal, just after the 5-minute mark. What did you think of that goal, Chippers?
Avoidable. It was a goal that really. I mean, after 5 minutes, you shouldn't be conceding. Like, you shouldn't concede at any time. But the way it was just too easy. I mean, Aubameyang should have scored in the first place, and how they got the second goal was just laughable. There was nobody there. Once Aubameyang missed that chance, and I felt well. Then I thought, why has no one got a foot in? Why is there nobody there to get the clear it? That they just stood watching. I mean, Shelvey and Longstaff were just like parting the ways, and then you had the edge of the box free. It was like, just pick your shot.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Jayde, we said in the Match Reaction live show that we did that, Dummett was caught out by Bellerin, which should never have happened, because Richie pointed out the run that Bellerin was going to make. Richie pointed the man he was going to go for, and then he left him to dumb it, and it was shocking. And then the ball comes across. Where are the midfielders on the edge of the box picking El Neni up? And I'm sorry to say it, but I thought the more I've seen it now, the more I think Dubravka should have kept the ball out the net, Jayde.
Yeah, I think he definitely should have done better. But that shot should never have came to him in the first place. It kind of like time just stood still, and you never can like switch off when you're defending, especially against the Premier League side. Like I saying, like when Oba missed it, and they were like, oh. Like, well, then get your head kicked on and get it out. And just obviously the kid's never scored in the Premier League. Upstep Newcastle to gift him his first Premier League goal, and it was a gift because it was a decent strike, but it should never have came to him. And he should have a lot more pressure. Like Chip just said, the midfield were just non-existent. They were just might as well not have been there. It was just so frustrating. Yeah,
well, I mean, we all know our feelings on John Joe Shelvey at the minute. He's just a pile of shite as far as I'm concerned. He's not worth a start. Chippers, what's your feelings on Almiron? Because I made my feelings pretty known, on the Match Reaction live show we did, and obviously last night again. I'm a little pissed off, to be honest, with Miggy at the minute. I don't think I'm starting to, doubt his ability for being in the Premier League. He's done nothing in the last 10 games, and I know he's out of position, yes, but a player of his ability or international class should be able to adjust to play in that situation. But he doesn't seem to be able to handle the power of the Premier League, and he's got 8 goals and 3 assists in 3 years. We talk about Joe Linton, but hey, Miggy's not doing it either.
Yeah, one thing. There's a couple of things I'll say on it. I'll say one is, if we're going to keep playing 5-3-2 the rest of the season, he needs to be taken out, because obviously that's not his position, and it's just making it worse for the team and him. It's obviously making his confidence drain. But if you're going to keep him in, you've got to change the formation or play him off. Say play ASM on the wide, but put him behind Wilson instead, because that's where he's best effective. You cannot put him in centre midfield because he's not a centre midfielder. He kind of tackle. He kind of like. He just can't. He's not like
our midfield's all over the place. It's all over the place.
I mean, there is no midfield for me because Longstaff's gone missing yet again, and obviously, now what Shelvey's like, it's like there's 5 defenders and just 2 up front. There's nothing in the centre.
Well, yeah. I mean, for me, St. Maximin can't play with Wilson either. I mean, I'd rather have Maxi out wide and Miggy trying to play the 3 balls up front. But I mean, it's getting to the time now where we are starting to see who can perform, who can handle the Premier League. Miggy's getting a hard time as of late, but he's cleared off the line twice in recent games, Spurs and Arsenal. I think he's lost faith in Bruce and will leave in the summer. Now, yes, I'm not talking about Miggy's defensive duties because, yes, he's cleared off the line.
That's not what he's on the pitch to do, is it?
Exactly. That isn't his position. And when you play 5 at the back, he doesn't need to. Yeah, I mean, he cleared one off the line, yes, from a corner. But he's done nothing up front. And I really do believe now is the time for him to be taken out the firing line. And he says, don't criticise, obviously, Shelvey, because David loves him, don't you know? Yes, I do. I wonder if David's going to make an appearance tonight because he was on the show. He made a few comments on the 4 Horsemen last night about Shelvey again. And Jayde, I mean, what's your feelings now? You've had a couple of days. I know, we spoke about Miggy on our Match Reaction show. He wasn't at his best at all. Hasn't been for a while. I mean, a couple of days after the game now, what are your feelings on it?
I think it's still the same, I think I thought he had some potential and I thought he was going to kind of find some form. But like I say, I love the commitment of the kid. I know that he runs around, but he just, after doing nothing, I think he kind of goes missing, them like most of them do. And what really frustrated me about Sunday is that we have missed a golden opportunity to push ourselves away. That's the thing that's really kind of gotten me now. I've had a couple of days to calm down. Is that how big of an opportunity that was to push away from that bottom 3? And obviously now that Burnley have dragged themselves back out, which is good. But I just hate looking over my shoulder at the team's results and thinking they want them to get beaten. I think this Sunday was a perfect chance for us to get away from this and feel a lot more comfortable. But I think it's going to be a nervy few weeks now because I can't see we'll get anything at all on Friday.
Well, last night's result for Burnley's result was fantastic for us because obviously Burnley still need that extra point like we do. So they'll play Fulham with something still to play for. My worry was that Burnley would get a result last night and have nothing to play for, while Fulham would be going all guns out. I still think Scott Parker will have them fired up. I'm not resting easy yet because, this is Newcastle United we're talking about, and nothing ever goes easy with Newcastle United. We've known that over the years. Nothing is ever simple with Newcastle United. So we have to be very careful. Going to bring next guest in as well is Annie. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Brian, I can see you there waiting, so don't not be long, matey. Annie, did you watch the Newcastle game?
Yes, I did.
What were your thoughts on that?
Well, it was bad performance, but what I would say is that Arsenal do have a lot of quality in them. Even though it's their reserves team, they've got the likes of Martinelli, they've got Gabriel at the back. Yeah. They've got good players. They've got Aubameyang.
Nobody's doubting that they've got good players, which they definitely do. And Arsenal are one of the sides that obviously can make a lot of changes and still have international players in the side. But for me, this is the worst Arsenal squad I've seen for many, many, many years. And, this was Newcastle United's opportunity to go out there at the weekend and actually put a display on, attack them from the start and really try and win the game. But we didn't do that.
When you give them the full of St. James's Park to play, any team's decent. When you don't put any fight in, when you don't tackle a team, when you give them so much space like we gave them, any team can be good.
That's true.
I'll just say a couple of things as well. After the match, Bruce said, was it ASM, wasn't that? Well, is he still suggesting a one-man team after 2 years in charge?
Yeah.
And then on Friday before the match, he says, does it not sum it up on Friday when he goes on about taking his dogs to a firework display? What's that all about? A match on this? A game on a Sunday he's bringing that.
That's just the mentality of the man, really. Taking a dog to a bloody fireworks display is just absolutely outrageous. But Dino says there we've got the worst midfield in the Premier League. It's hard to disagree at the minute. I'll tell you what though, it's massive how we miss Isaac Hayden. I know a lot of people were criticising his performances before he got injured, but now he hasn't been there for a few games. It just shows how much we do miss him. But when you've got somebody like John Joe Shelvey who is as much use as
Henry Lansford,
Henri Lomsey, Tuballard, Tyrannosaurus Rex, Chocolate Fireguard, whatever you want to call it. He is absolutely garbage at the minute. And David, if you're watching, if you come on here tonight and praise that man, you'll see me go on another rant because he's absolutely shocking. Dale says Chip shows his face. Brian says next time on Channel 5 Slum Landlord, Steve Bruce. Yeah. That is unbelievable. I couldn't believe that. Dale says, get the beers out, lads and lasses. Would be nice. I don't tend to drink that much, but my co-host does. But we'll gloss over that. Musical Magpie says, how should Bruce change the midfield against Leicester? Rest Shelvey. Well,
that's never going to happen.
Right. Somebody tell me. Hang on a minute. Why, in holy fuck's sake, should bloody Shelvey need a rest? He hasn't worked. He hasn't ran. He hasn't done anything for about 6 bloody months. He doesn't need resting. He needs dropping. He needs sacking. He needs sending out to the middle of the sea and blown up into smithereens. He's shit. Anyway, yes, I would take him out the side, but I wouldn't rest him. I'd drop him because he's pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic. He's got Matty Longstaff there. He's got Elliot Anderson there. Why aren't we using these players? And I've heard rumours that Steve Bruce has been told until it's mathematically certain that we are safe, he isn't to drop. He isn't to put any of the youngsters in.
He's the manager, though. Shouldn't he be making?
Exactly.
Who's he getting told off? Like
manager or head coach? That actually makes a massive difference, to be honest. If he's head coach, then
no one in that club know football. No one in that club understand football.
Sorry that I know a lot about football. Oh, I'm sorry.
I know one thing as well. I bet you Willock's on the bench on Friday. I bet he doesn't start him.
No.
Oh, didn't get me started on that. Annie, you're actually right. He is head coach. He's not the manager, and there is a difference because a head coach is basically just. I'm starting to think, does Steve Bruce actually pick the team or is it somebody else? Because it is a joke. What happens is, if we have a good result in the previous game, it's the same team he plays next time. It doesn't depend on the opposition or anything like that. He just puts the same shite out week after week with the same captain who, don't get me started again. I mean, that man is not a captain. It's just, I can't
We've
stand
got
him.
more coaches than the bus station, us, man. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. But we are so slow at coming out, breaking away. You know, there was, I picked Miggy again, I'm sorry, but the first half, he broke away, and when it went back to a replay, it showed Callum Wilson pointing where he wanted the ball played so he could run onto it. And Miggy stopped and turned backwards, and then stopped again, turned round, and the ball slipped away off his feet. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyway, Dale says, rest Shelvey, lol, Hendrick instead. Yeah, you know. I don't know. Somebody has. Dave, good evening. Hope you're well. I hope you're popping on a bit later, mate. Be good to have you on. Craig says, Shelvey's so shit. Yep. Sean says, can I join soon? Yeah, I'll see you in the queue, Sean. Layla says, Arteta will be sacked if they lose on Thursday. I'm Arteta out. Well, you know what it is? I'd have Arteta over Bruce any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Any sudden day of the week. David, he's a good player.
Oh, God. No. Just bottom.
David, seriously, on a serious note, Shelvey, he has performed in the past, right? But the way he's performing now, his attitude is stinking. If he does leave the club, he's going to leave it on a sour note when he could have left on a high and put in a big effort. But my worry is obviously that Shelvey's going to be here next season, Jayde, and he will be our captain next season.
Yeah, I think without a takeover, this is kind of our future, unfortunately. Bruce Shelvey as captain. I guess, like I think I said a few weeks ago, I'm just dreading if this is the same situation next season, because I don't think we'll have some of the players that have got our trouble this year. I think we'll lose kind of a couple of big ones, and with no money to bring them in, we're going to be hoping for loan signings, and it's just going to be an absolute disaster. We're going to be even in a worse state than we are now. And I think a lot of people will be done with the club, to be honest. I think people are starting to lose patience. And it's just us idiots that sit and try and watch every game to get through it. But yeah, it's getting dire now. I mean, watching the documentary about the entertainers just makes you realise how far we have actually fallen. And I don't think people realise kind of what Newcastle United are, and this is just nothing. This is not my club anymore. It's just it's a mess. It's rotten from the core.
I mean, I mentioned it like being a haunted house last night. It's just the way it's become. I mean, if you drive past St James's now, I know nobody's been in because of COVID and stuff, but it literally does look,
isn't it?
Like it is. It's just like one of those derelict buildings that hasn't been touched. It's horrible. Dino says if Rafa was confident of getting a replacement, Shelvey would have been sold a few years ago. I mean, we know Rafa wasn't, a Shelvey fan at all, but Shelvey kisses Bruce's arse so much it is ridiculous, and he embarrasses himself. But never mind. Chippers, just before you go, give us a prediction for Leicester on Friday night, matey.
I can see it being 3 or 4-0 Leicester, unfortunately.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I can't see anything. If we go out and perform like we did, because I can't see Steve Bruce changing the system or the tactics or the formation. It's going to be the same, and Vardy will be just licking his lips. Vardy hasn't scored for a while. He's on a little bit of a goal drought. Enter Newcastle United. It's in the stars. It really is.
Not Vardy, is it? Iheanacho.
Well, yeah, he's the one to watch, but Vardy will score. You bet my words on that. Chippers, thanks for coming on, mate. And I gather you'll be back commenting on the Four Horsemen next week.
Yes, I'll be back.
Yes, I'm rather shitting myself about that, but never mind. You take it easy, mate, and we'll speak to you soon, buddy.
Sure, I'll catch you later.
Take care. So that was Chippers. We bring Brian in. Good evening, mate.
Hey, Paul. How you doing?
I'm all right.
He's in the house.
He is in the house, I know. It makes a difference.
Yeah, finished work early today. I'm not homeless.
So, come on then. What was your summing up of that pathetic performance on...
Well, I mean, what do you even say? It's just typical. Do you know what? I've been supporting Newcastle since 1992 because of Andy Cole. And that is the first time I voluntarily turned off a game. I was like, fuck this. I'm not watching this anymore. Because you know what's going to happen. You know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
It's just the same garbage every single week under this buffoon, and it's never going to change. Shelvey's going to play every minute of every game. It's like nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change until Bruce is gone. Simple. It's as simple as that. So why bother watching?
Yeah.
You know, every now and then. And he literally outed himself after the game last week when he said, "Oh, you know, Shelvey, sorry, not Shelvey, Saint Maximin didn't have his best game today. You know, we didn't have his magic." So he's basically just admitting that's what he relies on Saint Maximin.
Of course he does. He's got,
you know, that's it. Like, there's no tactical nuance. There's no like. There's just nothing. It's just it's dead. Like it's dead. Put it dead. Like just liquidate the club.
Let's not go that far, matey. Come on.
Did you see that Swiss Ramble article today about the infrastructure?
I did, yeah.
And did you see? In no surprise, who was bottom.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's a disgrace. Like, and Richard Masters has the nerve to say they acted in the best interests of Newcastle United last summer. You know, like, and allowing Mike Ashley to just let the club wither and die. And it's not just Newcastle. You could list off 30, 40, 50 clubs that are like that haven't been ran properly by their owners. We're just one of a whole bunch.
Annie, you've got your hand up like you're at school, man. This isn't this. I was going to come to you anyway, Annie. Layla asks, what's your thoughts on Tielemans?
He's a fantastic player.
Yeah.
And he's going to have the time of his life on Friday.
They all are.
He won't be tackled. He won't be pressed. He won't be closed down. There'll be nothing. You know, it'll be another get to the byline, pull back, midfielder runs through, Shelvey's 10 yards behind the play, goal.
Yeah.
How many of those have we had this season where that's happened? It's literally the same goal every single week. It's like we can all see it, but moron on the sideline can't see it.
Yeah, you know? Well, there's plenty more runs on the sideline in a minute.
Would Matty Longstaff really be any worse? Would Elliot Anderson be any worse?
No,
you know?
Not at all.
Like, anyone would at this point.
But you know, Shelvey's his best mate, so he's going to play every game.
Exactly. Yeah. Annie, you had your hand up before there. What was the point you wanted?
I was just agreeing with the fact that owners run clubs badly. So yeah, that was just I was just acknowledging the fact that we are very badly run as well.
Oh, can I just say one more thing about Shelvey? That interview we did there last week where he's like, "Oh, you know, the stats say I'm not." Well, show us the fucking stats then.
Oh, you know? Yeah.
I'm not lazy. It's just language.
It's like we can see with our eyes. You know, we can see. We have eyes, mate. You know, don't insult our intelligence. Like, you know,
tell us to go and point out the stats. I mean, what a load of shit.
You know, show us them.
I mean, we can see all the stats we want. You know, I mean, that first goal for Arsenal, it was just shocking. Jayde, what's your thoughts on Mr. Aubameyang's second goal? Again, just caught out and you know, a beautiful ball across and finished well.
It was, yeah, and he has a field day against us, doesn't he? So I knew that was probably going to come. But again, it was just there were too loose of them. Like, they had space to burn. I don't understand kind of this whole when they get the ball, we kind of just stop. Like, the players, obviously, Arsenal players running at us. We kind of stop. We get the ball first time, and then no one tries to run back. It is literally. Jay, I don't think anyone knows.
This is every single time.
Yeah, every week. Yeah, like no one knows what anyone else is doing.
You have to think. The players are being told this. You know, the players are being told to stand off them. You know.
Yeah, that's what Bruce does. That is what Bruce does. He will ask the players to stand off. That is literally what he does.
Yeah, he does, and you can see in the opening 5 minutes that's what he was going to do. Musical Magpie says getting a few youngsters into the team and build for their future would probably be the only positive thing Bruce can achieve this season. Yes, but as I say, until we're mathematically safe, I don't think we'll see anybody. But then again, he had the chance last season and he didn't do it either. So you know,
the down tools.
Yeah,
exactly what they did on Sunday. They down. You knew after 5 minutes, like, right, this lot aren't interested. So why the fuck should I be? I went for a nice walk in the park.
Exactly.
So forgot about this disgrace in the football team.
Steve, the Leicester fan. For Friday, mate, at least you're 99% safe now. Well, you know, like I say, I'm still sitting on the
Newcastle.
Yeah. David's back again. He's my very favourite player, and he always will be.
He's just a wind up, isn't he? Just ignore it.
Well, I'm pretty sure David is just winding up because. But this one gets me. Jackie Boy says Shelvey is one of our best CDMs and central defenders when he's asked to drop back, and without him, we crumble. Deserves the captaincy.
They're just wind-ups, Paul. Don't give them the time of day.
I mean, the thing is,
these cannot be real opinions.
If that's the case, then I don't know what football game these people are watching because. It's just crazy. I just don't understand, and I never will.
It just feels like this season, like we've been gaslit by everyone this year. Pundits gaslight us, you know. Everyone gaslights. So Steve Bruce is doing a wonderful job, and it's like, based on what?
Yeah.
Like what game? Like I've literally had to ask friends of mine, like, 'cause I'm in Ireland obviously, and very few Newcastle fans, so they're mostly Man United or Liverpool, and so they don't see Newcastle games very often. And I just say to them, "Are we really as shit as I say we are, or am I just going insane?" And they're all like, "No, you're the worst team I've ever seen."
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know where Annie's gone there. David says, I would come on tonight, but you said last night that I wouldn't get on because I've got my Shelvey top on. David, you can get yourself on, because if you want to stick up for your man Shelvey, you get yourself on and stick up for him. You know, that's what the fan forum's all about. Yeah.
All opinions are counted, but he's wrong one.
Exactly. If he played for the Mackhams, he'd be shite there. Like, he's not even a League One player.
No,
he doesn't move.
But he'd struggle, yeah.
Andrew says, I remember when Aubameyang was linked with a Toon when he was at St Etienne as a youngster. Yep, and we didn't get him.
Didn't he have a trial with us?
No, he was linked though, but he didn't. We didn't sign him for some reason, which I'll never understand.
Interested in him.
Yeah,
like, you know, Modric, when that time Modric was meant to sign, and Darren Boy said he was too lightweight.
yeah. That was just painful. Elliot Anderson looks class. Would love to see him for a bit though. Give him a chance. He won't get a chance because Steve Bruce is an arse. It's as simple as that. So
what's going to happen is he's going to end up exactly like kind of Ivan Toney or someone else who's willing given the chance. He goes off to a championship club, and I'm related to Adam Armstrong. I really like my mum's nephew.
No, he kept that quiet, didn't you?
Yeah. Right. I don't even know him. I don't speak to him. I know him by her family, but so and he loved the Toon. He wanted to stay, but he was never given a chance. And then obviously Blackburn came along and he started to say then he's flying. But then we're always linked back to these players, and it's like you literally sold them for like pennies, and now you're buying them back for like millions. It's like, come on, like we have no kind of youth system to bring them through the ranks anymore. It is literally you get hired in for one game, all right, back to the under 23s, and it's ridiculous because we are missing some talent. And I think the youngsters will want to go out there and prove themselves, and that's exactly what we need in the last few games.
Did any of you watch the under 18 game there last week?
I watched a bit of it. I didn't see it a lot.
It's just staggering, like the golf. I know that Villa team are supposedly very, very good, but the golfing class is just crazy. Like, you know, just on every level, like just fundamental football and ability. You know?
Yeah, we have got some good kids coming through the under 23s. I mean, Lee on the show last night mentioned quite a few of them. But it's like Jayde says, you know, do they get a chance or do they get sold?
Doesn't matter if the infrastructure isn't there, the coaching isn't there.
Exactly.
They're not getting, like, why is Elliot? If you're not going to play, like Bruce, if you're not going to play Elliot Anderson, why is he not on loan at a championship club?
Yeah,
you know, we've seen how this benefit. Mason Mount spent a year on loan at Derby, really, really helped him. You know, he's probably the best midfielder and one of the best English midfielders around. I think Mount probably is the best English midfielder around at the moment.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So football, you need football when you're that age, you know?
Yeah. Involuntary Chad says, you're not going down. Not sure about that person's Shelvey comment, though. Yeah, you know, but hey, everyone's got their opinion. So, but we can argue that out. What's your gut feeling about Friday? Personally, I'm not so sure.
We're going to get dicked.
Yeah.
We'll get hammered, I think.
That's probably the most fairest way of putting it, I think. But we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? Annie, just you know, tell all the viewers, you know, how your side did at the weekend.
Brilliant. Great. Right. So basically, we went away to the Den. Millwall, who are a very good team in the top 8 of the Championship, and are pushing for the promotion to the Premier League, which is obviously the best league in the world. So we went there in very bad form with a lot of injuries and got smashed 4-1. So that is what happened, and that is the truth, and that is what occurred at the Den. So
you'd have still beaten Newcastle though, I bet.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
We'll be
winning. Parkway Championship and League One teams this season, so.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not sure about Andrew's comment here. I don't think it'll be a massive scoreline, but I seriously do think we'll beat Manchester City.
Yes.
Got more faith than I do, unfortunately.
Yeah, pretty much.
I love these people's optimism. Like, I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know where it comes
I
from.
watched
But,
2 years.
Neither
of
do I. I mean,
shite.
we spoke about this last night on the show about people being optimistic. I don't know where this optimism comes from because the team doesn't play like anywhere near good enough to give you any optimism. The
you see,
performances
when
are
Rafa,
shocking.
when Rafa was in charge, like there were many games where we were shite. Like we did not have a particularly good team, but we had a manager who could make the difference. You know, we had the team tactically set up. We had them. They ran through brick walls for Rafa. So you always felt, all right, the other team will probably have 60-70% of the play, but you know, he'll keep us in the game through his coach and through his ability, to motivate the players. You know,
we'll
be in the game. We'll be in the game, so we'll
well.
always have a chance. But Bruce, there's just nothing. Like we're just sitting there waiting for the other team. You know.
Yeah, we'll go on the Brian before you head off, mate. Give us a score prediction.
4-0
to Leicester City.
Yeah,
wow.
Well, obviously not Newcastle.
yeah. Fair enough. That's two predictions of 4-0.
Vardy's gone a couple of games without a goal, hasn't he, as well? So
he has.
That story's going to end.
Yeah. You know. Well, thanks for coming on, Brian. Get yourself back on next week, mate. We'll have a chat about the Leicester game if it's if we're not all slam our head off brick walls. But thanks for coming on, buddy, and take care.
Take care.
See you later, mate.
Bye.
So that was Brian, and next on the show we have Stephen, and we have Dave. Oh no, I brought Dave on. Where's Stephen gone? He's there. Hello. Good evening, chaps.
Hello. You all right?
Yes. Dave, your what's playing up again in your house?
Oh, it's my headphones not right, is it not?
No, I put the other ones you had in last week, mate, because you were clear.
I haven't got them. My granddaughter's nicked them.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
I'll sit by a bit. Is that any better?
No, but it's fine.
Okay.
Andrew says, I do like hearing Brian talk sense. Andrew says, Rafa seriously going to Spurs then? No, I really can't see that. I'd be amazed. No. Sound Dave being gardening, says Andrew. So there you go. David says, how the fuck Shelvey starts, I don't know. You just want to slap him on top of the head. I want to do more than slap him on top of the head. Stephen, what's your views? I mean, Shelvey's taking a hammering tonight, as I probably thought he would. But my main concern is Miggy. I don't think he's the player that we thought he was. That's just my opinion. I don't think he's going to succeed in the Premier League.
Well, you have to look at I personally love Miggy. I'm like one of these people who will always stick up for Miggy, like the people that always stick up for Shelvey when he's playing crap.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think Miggy's being played in these wrong position. He used to be playing in the number 10 role, isn't he? Since we changed that new formation, the 4-2-3-1 kind of formation, he thrives in that sort of formation. He just doesn't suit playing a centre midfielder. Mm-hmm. And yes, he can get lost in games. I agree with that. But just mainly not playing in his right position. He's just looking lost. He can't cross the ball. He doesn't need to do any of that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Bruce needs to play him in his right position, and he'll flourish. Because we all love him. I mean,
but the one thing is, Stephen, do we love Miggy because of his work rate or what he produces on the pitch?
Maybe his work rate, because he can shift. He does put a shift in. You can't deny that, though, can you?
Well, no, I'm not going to deny putting a shift, but I think that's why he's got a lot of fans, is because of his work rate, and you can't take that away from him. His work rate's fantastic, but I just don't think. I think the Premier League's just a bit. I mean, Musical Magpies here says even Atsu would do a better job than Almiron and at least put decent crosses into the box. I mean, when we start to talk about Atsu replacing Almiron, that is a big problem. Jayde, I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
You know what, I didn't mind Atsu. I thought he did all right for a few games, but all I'm worried about is like when you think about like Elliot Anderson and when he went on loan or kind of went back to like who now would fit that position on the bench. Like our squad is so paper thin. Like it worries me dramatically. Like about how kind of even Atsu like. We've still got Savvy on the books, I think, like somewhere. There is players that obviously aren't getting a chance with Bruce, and I think it clearly isn't working. Everyone can see it's not working apart from him. So I don't understand why he isn't changing it, and he's just happy to keep playing players out of position, especially when it pisses me off when he puts Shelvey in defence because he refuses to take him off to put on another midfielder. And it's just baffling. I don't understand like how everyone else can see it, but the man running the team can't. It's just, honestly, it really is starting to get so frustrating now.
Yeah, without a doubt. Andrew says, I can see Hendrick coming in for Armour on
Would
Friday.
not surprise me.
Go on, no, do not say that.
It wouldn't surprise us, honestly.
The reaction on all your faces was priceless. Lovely.
Yeah, I tell you what, why don't you send a letter into Nigel Pearson asking him to take Hendrick? I mean, I'm sure he'd do a grand job for Bristol City in the middle of the park.
There would be literally a riot outside Ashton Gate. I'm not even gonna lie.
If Rafa goes to Spurs, I won't cope. Andrew says, I would take a draw on Friday right now. Yes, I would. A point that'll secure us. That's us safe. Keith says we're going to get hammered on Friday. Annie, will you leave your microphone alone? It sounds like there's an earthquake in your bedroom.
Is that what? No,
You've got a very good microphone, so every time you're tapping on the desk, it's like an earthquake in my earphones. You're worse than bloody Sinclair at times, you. Andrew says Spurs would ruin Rafa for me like Chelsea did. They don't deserve him, but it's good in our favour. He's looking for a move to the Premier League. Ashley not taking the hint. He won't come back to work for Ashley. No way in cat's hell. Dave, what's your thoughts on Miggy?
Well, like I said the other week, I mean, he's a really good player, but I think, as you said last week, it's the final third. It's that bit at the end. Getting from middle of midfield up to the last third. He's really good, and he terrifies players because he's fast. Mm-hmm. He can hold on to the ball, but it's a bit like ASM. He doesn't pass when he should, and he does pass when he shouldn't. But I mean, I think you were saying was last week, Paul, all the other shows. He's only scored about 4 or 5 or 6 goals.
He's got eight goals and 3 assists in 3 years. So we're giving Joe Linton hammer. You know what I mean? And saying, and I've been one of Joe Linton's biggest critics. But if we're going to hammer Joe Linton, and many people have said, well, he's playing out of position. He's playing out of position. Yeah. Well, so is Miggy. So does Miggy not deserve a bit of flack for his production?
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more that what you've got to do is look at your form players, and he's not a form player. The only good thing he's doing is he terrifies the defensive back four because they think, oh, here he comes. But any defensive player knows and looks at what he's been doing, because apparently some managers look at who they're playing and change their tactics. If they're playing. I don't understand why managers do that. I really don't. They just say, look, he's just let him run out because he's going to get nowhere. So it's frustrating because I've said before, certainly there is a really, really good player in there, but he needs a good coach, and he's just well. Is there a good coach at the club? I'm not sure there is.
Well, we don't know. Paul says we need a manager who's willing to give the youth a chance, someone who played at the highest level recently, so we'll get the players respect and who can build something. Lampard, Chelsea was too soon. I would love to see Lampard come and give it a go, and I think he's got something to prove. I've said this many times, but it all depends on ownership, and I don't think that any manager who's going to come into Newcastle will believe a word that Mike Ashley says. I really don't. So we have to get a team, we have to get a takeover, we have to get swept from the bottom up, and then just completely new club who engages with the fans again and shows respect to the fans, because that's what we've missed. We don't have leaders in the squad, and if we did, Bruce wouldn't be manager. Can't see us better. We're not going to beat Man City in a million years. Archie says, Shelvey is shit. You do not kick a ball to your keeper. Well, the best way is to kick the ball out of Bruce. You know what it is? I mean, that back pass still haunts me, to be honest. It was terrible. Paul Bradley, I would definitely have Lampard in, yes, without a doubt. We won't beat Man City. Absolutely not. I'm more confident about Man City game than Sheffield United. Andrew, you've been smoking. You've been smoking something funny. Annie, from an outsider looking in, I mean, can you see Newcastle United beating Man City?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Basic answer, no.
I mean, there's absolutely no bloody chance.
No means no, Andrew. No.
Well, I'm going to try and bring in Shelvey's brother from another mother. Good evening, David.
Oh no.
Good evening.
Right.
Hi, David.
The stage is yours, David. Tell us why I mean, please don't you dare say that Shelvey had a good game on Sunday, right? Please don't, because he just wasn't. Come on, you now's your time. Go on.
I thought you played all right.
Oh.
You did.
Right? How? It's all right. You're saying he played all right. You tell us right now, right? How did he play well? What did you see that we didn't that says that he played well?
He could pass the ball from. He didn't look.
To who? David.
Yeah, he did it to the Arsenal players.
How many times did he get the ball away?
Stand.
He was looking forward and he was passing forward instead of backwards. Like every.
He never passed. He passed forward twice and they both went to the bloody Arsenal goalkeeper.
He still passed.
Seriously, David, if Shelvey was playing rugby on Sunday, he would have scored loads of points. But this is bloody football, and most of the time he went backwards. I can't see any way how you can say he played well, David. You're going to make me cry. How? Tell me how, please. What did he do? What did he do? Come on, David. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting to be inspired. Inspire me.
Paul.
I had a bet, and Shelvey was my first goal scorer.
You had Shelvey down as your first goal scorer.
Oh, definitely yellow card.
Yes, yellow card. David, why did you think Shelvey would score? I mean, given that he can't even run 20 yards, never mind bloody score. So what gave you the impression that Shelvey was going to score first?
That's what was said against Southampton, but he scored first then.
Southampton was once ago! He's done nothing the last 5 games, David! Please, God. David, are you seeing the same game as us? Are you really seeing the same football game?
Yeah.
I think that's a red. Off.
Red.
Penalty.
David, you do realise, David, that you are the only Newcastle United supporter who actually thinks that Shelvey... I mean, do you think Shelvey is a captain?
Yep. 100%.
He is not. What does he do as captain?
What does he do as a captain?
He's a leader. He's an actual leader.
No.
Jayde, take over the show because I'm going for a sudden heart attack.
I've never seen that man speak to any of his teammates at all.
No.
He stands
Speaking as much sense as this cute little panda here.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see where he's pointing his finger to pass the ball forward. So
He's pointing his finger up Steve Bruce's arse. That's all he's done. David, come on. Please.
Honestly.
David.
How does he show leadership, David? What bit of the pitch does he show leadburst Please tell me.
Calm down, man, Paul.
Calm down, Dave.
He's got a burst of blood vessel. David, ask you a question. Did you see the players in the tunnel before the matches that were coming out? Mark Ritchie was shouting, barking, cheering people, saying, come on. And I'm sorry, but Shelvey just stood there going, oh, well, I'm going to play some football. And he did nothing. You know, Ritchie was there saying, come on, you know, and he was jigging all the players up, chatting them all and fizz bumping them, everything. He wasn't, and I'm sorry, but I know you like him, I know he's your favourite player, but that's not what a captain does. A captain's like Ritchie shouting, screaming, come on, you can do this. We're the team, we're going to do this. Shelvey never does that. Sorry, mate.
Even on the rare occasion we do score a goal, you never see him in the celebrations. He's off doing something else. And that's where you need captaincy well done, and he just doesn't do that for me. I think he's just a waste of space.
He was in the celebrations when they run to Bruce the other week. He was
Of course he did. He was the first to Bruce.
He's going to run to Steve Bruce because he's so far up his backside, he's tickling his own tonsils. David, you know, seriously, Shelvey is so far up Bruce's backside, you could use him as a ventriloquist puppet, right? It's just not on, David. He's not the leader, mate. He's not. You see someone like Matt Ritchie running around the pitch, barking orders out, kicking people up the arse, kicking himself up the arse. John, I mean, what did you make of John Joe's effort for Arsenal's first goal?
I didn't think him as any fault.
Oh,
It wasn't his area of the pitch.
Like, how was it not? How? Just how?
Because he's not a centre back.
The centre backs were picking the strikers up, David.
He was marking.
He's got to come back to the edge of the box. It's his man.
all he has to do is track El Neni, who's not even the attacking midfielder.
Oh, no,
I don't think it was his fault.
he's a builders.
Okay, so if it wasn't his fault, right, who should have been picking El Neni up?
Dummett.
Oh, good lord.
Dummett's in the left back position with
Wrong
Bellerin.
side.
He's marking Bellerin.
Yeah.
He was marking Bellerin. He was doing it well.
Fernandez.
You're just picking players now.
Just picking defenders.
Just choosing.
Right, David, I really admire your passion for John Joe Shelvey. I really do, truly do. But you've fallen down. You've gone off a cliff, mate. Seriously, you've gone off a cliff like Thelma and Louise. You ain't come back. Seriously, it's just not. He's not good enough. He's terrible. I mean, you know, you can see the other guys, you know, saying in the comments and on here, you know, they're really fed up. I mean, he's not. I mean, granted, yes, he used to be a decent player, and I honestly think that John Joe will look back when he retires and think to himself, I could have been so much more. I could have been so much more. I could have been an England international. Had I put my head down and really worked hard, I could have had so much more out of my career than I actually did. You know, there was a reason Liverpool got rid of him, and there was a reason Swansea got rid of him as well. And then he come to us, and yes, he's had patches of brilliance sometimes, but that's what he is. If he put his head down and really worked, he could have been a fantastic midfielder. But, David, honestly, you've got horse blinkers on, mate. You really have, because he's not good enough. Our midfield is terrible when he is in it. And for you to say, I mean, who was your man of the match for Newcastle?
Joe Linton.
Sorry?
Jason Joe Linton.
He didn't play.
David Joe Linton played for 10 minutes.
Yeah, but when he come on, the game changed.
The game changed?
Jay.
The game changed, David.
Yeah, it changed.
Okay, he's in the penalty box. I've had enough. I seriously, I cannot. I mean, and he's shown the red card. I mean, I cannot. Somebody talk, because
I think in David's defence,
you know what, to play for Newcastle United. How about that?
Listen, you know what it is, right? I've said I admire his passion for John Joe. It's his favourite player, right? But when things are said like, you know, he cannot do this, or he wasn't at fault for the first goal. He wasn't this. He passed some brilliant balls. Where did I see a good pass from Shelvey? Am I going blind? I mean, I know I wear glasses, but Jesus, holy shit. I mean, okay, we've got another guest in just while David's in the penalty box, and it's one of my horsemen, Peter. Peter, have you been watching the show?
I just tuned in and I see you put him in.
So, give me your thoughts on Shelvey.
past his best.
Yeah.
And he's not in player anymore. No chance. And he's not a captain. No.
I mean,
that's why I've said end of the season. Hopefully, it's times away.
Andrew says Concert wouldn't take Hendrick. I'm not sure whether they take Shelvey either. Sports Director's been voted worst sports shop in the UK. That's good news.
Shelvey lost the ball 11 times.
Thank
11
yes.
times.
11 times, David. I know you're in the background in the penalty box watching this. 11 times.
11 times. 11 times.
Honestly, David, say something sensible, please. Dave, please.
I was going to say that in his defence, Shelvey was a great player, but I think I said last week, 5 or 6 years ago, and he certainly was one of my favourite players a few years ago. But this last couple of seasons, as you said just before there, he's got to look back and think, do you know what, I've messed up here, because he should have been an England player, because he hasn't anymore. He had the quality, but he's just not good enough. But I think that it's not just the fact he's not good enough. For my money, it's the damage he does in midfield. I mean, we often say the Longstaffs don't play well. It's because they've got him alongside, so they're doing twice the work they should do, because they're covering for that lazy so-and-so.
Yeah, you can see it on the pitch, though, can't you? You can see our midfield is just it's just so wide open, and teams are just. I mean, Leicester City, you've got Ndidi, you've got Maddison, you know, you've got.
That's scary.
Sorry, Annie.
No, Ndidi, he's injured, I think.
Oh well, yeah, but they've still got somebody else. You know, they've got loads of players that will just bombard our midfield if we go with the same lineup. It's so weak in our midfield playing this formation. It is incredible. And, you know, Stephen, when we come up against Leicester on Friday, if we have a midfield like that, we are going to get bombarded.
Yeah, because, you know, like you said, with the players Leicester City have, with Maddison, who's an outstanding player, like you said, obviously in Jayde, but he's out injured. You've got such an abundance of talent in that team.
Yeah.
You're absolutely brilliant, aren't you? I mean, the Tielemans, he's another good player. I mean, he's performed really well, Tielemans. And like you say, if we have a Shelvey in that sort of midfield with Tielemans and Maddison either side, we're just going to overrun him. Shelvey's just going to be jogging back like he usually does.
I'm sorry to laugh. Archie's just come into the waiting area, right? And he's got a wig on. No, I saw a picture of this wig last night, and I was deeply horrified by what I saw.
Show him?
Yeah,
is that the same one?
Peter showed it as an eye. Oh God. Right, David, by the way, in the background, you're getting an absolute mullering in the comments, mate. Ryan says, David shows facts and figures to back up the Shelvey argument. Without that, you're insane. No offense. Well, no offense, but you're insane.
None taken.
Shearer could have been good given time as well for manager, but never under Ashley. Shearer, wrong attitude for management. I didn't think it was ever going to work with Alan Shearer. Do you think Shearer will be back one day like Gerrard returned to Liverpool? I don't think Shearer will come back as manager, but I think he'll come back as some kind of ambassador, Jayde.
Yeah, I think he tried it. It wasn't for him. I think he's very happy doing punditry now. I think that suits him. He's very intelligent when it comes to the game, and he knows what he's talking about for punditry. But I think, like, obviously coming back and he took us down, I think probably left a sour taste in his mouth, probably not how he wanted it to go. But yeah, definitely see him coming back to the club in some aspect. And I don't think he'll ever be manager again, though. But to be honest, I'd want him. I just don't think that's the best position for him. I've got very fond memories of Shearer growing up, and I'll just keep them and not try to like disrespect him and kind of see what he can do. But yeah, I just don't think that's his cup of tea.
Yeah, I agree. Newcastle will shock Leicester.
How bad
I don't know where this positivity is coming from. Dear me.
Is that the same guy who said Bruce deserves credit?
Probably. Andrew says, oh no, it's the Shelvey lover. Well, if you wonder where he is, he's in the penalty box again. Jill says, Shearer had chance, was the wrong time. It was completely the wrong time. What's the last time Newcastle had a penalty? We're quite a while, but to be honest, I don't think we've been in the opposition box enough to get a bloody penalty lately. I mean, Dave, what formation would you go with on Friday?
I think the 3-4-2-1 is what I'll be playing, because I think if we get Willie on the wing and we get Almiron on the wing, I think we could. Almiron much prefers that number 10 role, so that's what I'd put him. I'd even put Joe Linton in, because I think that he plays. I just think he's been playing not too bad lately. But I would definitely look to bring one of the youngsters on, Anderson or somebody on, is that impact. So, and I would play Willett from the start, quite frankly. Definitely. But to do that, you've got to drop Shelvey. And I would put Richie where Shelvey is, and I put Willett alongside him. Because that's one of the problems when people say, Willett's not very good. Because he had the lazy Shelvey alongside him, who was making him look bad. So I'd put
there's no motivation in that midfield. There's if Shelvey's supposed to be a leader, then I'm half woman. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's just no chance. I mean, it's like, come on. Bede says Shelvey's passing has even went to pot biggest passenger this season. Ryan says, I think David is being serious. Why have a Shelvey top? It does have that. Andrew says an African giant snail is faster than Shelvey, man. David, how are you, lad? He says Shelvey is shite. Andrew says I can see Richie as manager in the future. There's a shout.
Absolutely.
He's definitely a motivator without a shadow of a doubt. Andrew says, just a thought, guys, would you try putting Murphy in the middle instead of Shelvey and get Anderson on?
No.
I don't think that. You what, Pete?
You would want Murphy for his crosses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need Murphy out wide without a shadow of doubt. I mean, last night I did say, and I don't know what you guys think of this. I mean, I said that I thought, all the flack I've given Joe Linton this season, I think, when he wasn't on the pitch on Sunday, we looked a bit sort of unbalanced. We looked a balanced side when he's in the team. I'm not saying he's a great footballer or anything like that. I'm just saying that the actual 11 looks more balanced. And ASM, I mean, he's very, very frustrating. 1 minute he's brilliant. Next minute he'll do something that really frustrates you with his final ball. I mean, Stephen, what do you think of ASM? I mean, he's not combining well with Wilson, and we see him trying to do too much on too many occasions. And his final ball on Sunday was awful, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a striker. I mean, he's getting played up top with Wilson, and he was up top with Joe Linton. And he's not a striker. He's a left winger. I mean, why is he being played in that position? He's not a striker. He's a left winger, and you're saying that he had to come from deep to try and get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed some odd flashes of getting past a few Arsenal players, but. And that shot he had in the first half, but other than that, he was quite really anonymous. Arsenal did a number on him. Yeah. He was just ineffective in that game.
Fair enough. David, before you go, matey, give us a prediction for Friday.
Well, I think reading some of the stats, we're going to win 5-1 and Shelvey's going to score a hat-trick. But seriously, I can't see you being anything less than 3 or 4 to Leicester. I just cannot see anything else. I really can't.
Yeah. That's 3 predictions we've had tonight, all going for 3 or 4 now to Leicester.
I mean, as I say, the old king, I'd love it. I just love it.
Yeah.
I take a point now, and that would be what's safe. But I just think it's written on the cards because they're playing well, we're playing pathetic. But the trouble is, like 1 or 2 people said in the chat, we can be Man City. We're daft enough to do that. Well, not, but we're daft enough to do that.
It's just typical of Newcastle if someone came up, but it's also just typical of us to get a hiding. But these next 2 weeks are going to be crucial. I think if Burnley get a result at Fulham, then we're safe. But if Fulham beat Burnley, it's still wide open for me, and it's going to be a very, very tense last few games.
But Dave, the last game.
Exactly. Dave, thanks very much for coming on, matey. Get yourself back on next week, and love to the wife, and hope you have a good weekend, mate.
Yeah, cheers, mate. You as well. Thanks very much.
Stay safe, Dave. See you later. So that was Dave. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's Archer.
Hello.
Archer.
He's lucky I didn't have a drink there.
Yes.
Archer. Please explain.
Why is it red and white?
A, why you've got a wig on, and B, why is it red and white?
Oh, he loves Bristol City, doesn't he?
No.
Talk about Bristol City. I'm more bothered about the Mackems.
What it is it's an England wig.
All right.
Okay.
So what I did, I went online and I ordered myself an England wig because of the Euros are kicking off next month once the Premier League's finished.
Yeah.
And not only that, I did get myself a mankini, which did arrive today. But unfortunately, I'm not putting it on today because we have a female guest here. So I'm not going to.
You're welcome, guys.
Jeez, Jayde, you've saved us from a horrific nightmare tonight.
Knew it was a good idea to put me on.
Christ almighty. Andrew says, Shelvey is a lazy bastard. That's true. But if the team is set up in a way to let him pick a pass on halfway or 2/3 of the pitch, he can be devastating. It's the team from Bruce which has knocked all the confidence out. Stephen, answer that one, will you?
Yes, he is a lazy bastard, as Andrew says there. But he had I wouldn't say he was brilliant against Liverpool, but he was kept picking balls out because Liverpool were playing a high line, weren't they?
Yeah.
Over the top for Longstaff in that first half. Liverpool were playing such a high line, but in any other game, he tries to play Hollywood passes all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, balls going to nobody. I'm sick of arguing with people on Twitter saying, why Shelvey not got any passing? Why should he be captain? Richie should and all this. Yeah. I'm sick of arguing with people stick up for Shelvey all the time. He's just fucking crap. Honestly, he's absolutely crap. He shouldn't be in that team. Joe Willock should be in that team alongside Longstaff.
Mm-hmm.
Even Hayden, when he's fit, he should be in with on him because he is absolutely crap and he shouldn't be anywhere near that team.
I agree. Annie, before you go, give us your usual prediction for Newcastle United.
So Leicester of a Tielemans.
It'll take too long, man. You know what I mean?
2-0 Leicester.
Wow. Yeah, it was. Very tame. I'm a bit surprised, Annie, but thank you very much. So we'll probably beat Leicester now. There's a thought. Right. Annie, thanks for coming on, matey, and get yourself back on next week.
Yeah, no problem, of course.
Take care. Stay safe, matey. Have a good week. So that was Annie, and we'll bring in John Joe Shelvey's brother from another mother again.
He's got his shades on.
David, now I know why you think Shelvey's pretty good, because you got Stevie Wonder's sight. He's not replying. David, you've got to be trolling. David, you're being accused of being a troll. Whose name have you got on the back of that shirt, David?
John Joe Shelvey.
Give me proof. Turn around and let me see. Take your time.
I've got.
I don't know what's worse.
That's even worse.
Jayde, the show's yours.
Hi, welcome to Jayde's Toon review.
Rest in peace, Paul. Rest in peace.
We'll have an in memoriam show for him with all his best bits.
You've got all red, Paul.
Red. It's 1,000 degrees under my lights, and when I can't control my blood pressure when
Goalkeeper cup as well.
Who
And
wants
who's
the
on the
two
back of your goalkeeper, Top?
Elliot in it.
Okay, well, I'll let you off with that one. Fair enough. Andrew says, I remember seeing Shelvey as a kid at Charlton Athletic. I thought, wow, what a player he could be. How wrong I was.
Could have been.
Chipper says, David, is that Coke in that can?
No, it's Jack Daniels.
Oh, yeah, tell us about it. It's not, it's dear God.
Jack and Baby t-shirt.
Chippers, it's acid, according to Andrew. Dear me. Tony says, do you watch Farley TV on YouTube? Bruce impersonations, brilliant. Cry with laughter. Yes, I've seen him a few times. He's very good. I do. New one, Bruce Master Tactician. I do love the Jared one he does. Oh, the Jared one's great because he goes like, yeah, for about 10 seconds. Right. I want to get your guys' thoughts on this one, which was the Shah sending off. Now,
sending off,
well, the thing is, right, it might not have been a sending off. And I think people are 50-50 split on this one because it may not have been a sending off. However, why in God's earth is he making that tackle? He doesn't have to. He can just hold the ball is coming to Martinelli. Why isn't he just holding Martinelli up? He's going nowhere.
His foot's on the floor. He stood on showing.
Well, yeah.
From behind though, you can't go down like that.
Yeah, his studs were up, David. When he made the tackle, his studs were up.
We can argue about what colour the card was, but you shouldn't be doing that in the first place.
Yeah.
Like Monday, and even Dermot Gallagher said it was a yellow card at maybe at minimal. So
well,
he wouldn't have been.
Do you think he should have made the tackle though?
No, he shouldn't have made the tackle, but it wasn't a straight red.
No,
he shouldn't have done it.
You always, when you go to ground like that, especially from behind, you're always taking that risk of getting a card, especially a red card, because of the crazy laws of the game that we are these days. Andrew says, thing is, we need new players. Any other manager won't be back in the summer, but Bruce will. But we need to make sure they're better players rather than waste £40 million on another Joe Linton. There's no money. He's already been told there's no money. So he's not going to get a treasure chest. He may well get money to sign Willock if a deal can be done, but the rest are just going to be loans again. Andrew thinks 4-4-1-1 on Friday for me. 3-5-2 against City. Play 3-5-2 against City. We will get scummed. I'm telling you, we will get absolutely ass raped, big style. We'll have no chance. David watched his FIFA team. Is Shelvey performing well on FIFA for you, David? Is that why you kind of,
No, I've always liked them.
Yeah, you can always be a fan of someone, David, but you can criticize them when they start going down the other side of the mountain.
Yeah, but I don't think he is at the moment.
Archie, what's your views on Shelvey?
Shelvey.
Stop it.
He's absolutely shite.
Yeah.
To be fair, Shelvey was okay when he was playing against Swansea City. He was staying out of it, but when he's came to us, he's only had his season's been up and down, up and down season with us. But at the end of the day, he's coming to that age where his legs just can't do anymore.
Yeah.
He's just absolutely shambok. He's just crap. Like Liverpool, right? You don't hoof a ball like 35 yards to Martin Dubravka when you're under pressure against two Liverpool players.
Yeah. And
then you got Sadio Mane pressuring Martin Dubravka to try and win the ball off him. You don't do that. What you can do is just kick the ball off Steve Bruce's head, and there you go.
That would make more sense.
He was never going to do that, was he?
David, that back pass, right, David?
Yeah.
What reason did John Joe have for doing that?
I didn't watch the game, so I couldn't concentrate.
Jesus Christ, he's Arsene Wenger now. He didn't see it. Have you seen no highlights of it, David?
No, I didn't watch the game.
Okay. Fair enough. James says, what's the whirring noise I can hear? It's Dave's headphones, but hopefully he'll have his other ones back next week. How bad is Shelvey? He's a Senegalese international like Mane. He can't be any worse than our current midfield. Jayde, I think Shelvey is quite a decent player.
I like him.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you on this one, David. I think he's a decent player.
I don't know what he has to do. I don't know what's happened and why he's dropped out of favour. But like I say, he can't do any worse than what he's put in. But what we've realised and we've got to get head around is this man is never ever going to drop John Joe Shelvey. So
no, he's not.
No matter, we could argue to the cows come home who's better than him. Pretty much everyone on the bench and in the under 23s. But he's never going to get a chance because he's going to keep playing him. And I liked him the few times I've seen him play. I thought he was canny. So I don't know why he's kind of dropped out of the squad. And but who knows?
He came in a couple of seasons ago, didn't he? He came in a couple of seasons ago and he scored a cracking free kick against West Ham. And he was doing well. But then he got dropped and he didn't come back. So
never seen him again.
Ryan says, I thought I lost some wacky backing. Now I know who stole it. Andrew says, I like the kid at Peterborough, Dembele, is it? I don't know. I've got a kid who's absolutely scored. I can't remember his name, but the kid has scored tons of goals for Peterborough this season. And I think he's only 18 years old. He's a top player. If Newcastle had a fully fit squad all season, we'd be battling for top 10.
Really?
The thing is, we have a decent squad. We've just got an awful manager.
Yeah. I'm certainly not blaming it on injuries because we've had the players to come in and cover, or we haven't brought players in, i.e. in the January window when we could have got somebody like Divock Origi to cover for Wilson, on loan. We could have brought him in on loan and covered that for the season, but hey-ho. Maitland-Niles for centre midfield next year, done all right at West Bromwich Albion. There's another one. I mean, he's a decent player, but I'd rather have Willock, to be honest, than Maitland-Niles. Ryan says David is in St. Nick's Hospital on the normal ward. David, you're getting a hammering, son. Getting a hammering. Chipper says Archie looks like he's had his head up a chicken's backside.
Oh no.
Actually, you can see it now when you look properly. Andrew says Pereira at West Brom. He's canny. I love Pereira at West Brom, and I think he can go a long way. He's a talented player. You what?
I don't like Pereira.
So you're saying to me that you think John Joe Shelvey is a better player than Pereira?
I didn't say that.
But why don't you like why don't you like Pereira?
There's just something about him. I just don't like him.
Oh, personally, not as a footballer.
Just personally, I just don't like him.
Okay. That's fair enough.
I would take Pereira any day, mate.
Yeah, I would as well.
Snap your hand off.
Yeah, I think he's tremendous. Stephen, now Pereira for you. Do you think he could do a job for us?
Oh yeah, I like Pereira. I watched that game against Wolves yesterday, and he really should have had a shot when he had the chance because he's got a wonderful shot on him, and he tried to square and he squared it. He should have had a shot because he's a good player, Pereira. I think. Yeah. I know there's no money available. If we do get a takeover, I think Newcastle should go out and sign him because I quite like the look of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's on for one of the top 10 sides. Me, I really do. I tell you who, we had a blinding game for West Ham. Ben Rama, he was absolutely superb last night for West Ham, and he's only on loan at West Ham. So
he signed permanent, didn't he? Didn't he sign permanent?
Yeah, he signed permanent.
I thought he was on loan. I think it's a loan deal.
No,
I'm sure West Ham made permanent.
No, I think they've got an option, but I believe they've got him on loan with an option to buy because they didn't have the funds available in January. But you might be right. I don't know, but I thought it was a loan, but we'll see. Derek says, Paul, the fact is we need midfielders out with Shelvey and Longstaff. They bring nothing to the tram. I've always said I want to see Longstaff in the number 10 role again, but again, it's something we'll never see because Bruce isn't that sort of manager to go and say to players, go and play, show what you can do, etc. We've got about 10 minutes left of the show. Andrew says, I like him, but can I see us affording him? Exactly. And Andrew says, wow, Archer, lad. Yeah. Ryan says, fair play, David. You've got balls to stick to that narrative. Yep. He's sticking to his guns. I think those guns are crazy and aren't shooting bullets, but he's sticking to them. Did you guys see what Rob Lee said? No?
No, I don't think I did.
I haven't seen anything like that. Archer looks like a genie.
What?
Ryan says, Jayde, can you give us permission to allow us to see Archer in the mankini? Ryan, I'm a little worried why you're asking that question, really. And I'm a little,
You know what the answer will be.
Aye.
I mean, I'm
you
sure you
haven't
can
been on
arrange
this
it
show,
privately.
Ryan, for 2 weeks. I don't know where you are. You need to get yourself back on this show, mate, because you've missed 2 weeks now. Shocking. And now you want to see Archer in the mankini. That needs some explaining, my man. Or a
Just down in that
magician.
basement.
Yeah, exactly. He's in his basement. Yeah, he is. You should come up with basement, Jayde. What's going through your head coming up with dungeons and basements? I'll not even ask. Jonas says, yeah. You need players forward, though, for Shelvey sprayed passes. Otherwise, it's just long balls to the forward. Any lump of central defender can do that for a fraction of the cost. Archer looks more like a metronome. And he says, cheers, guys. Oh, no, David's back. Dave says, it's those rose-tinted glasses, David.
Yeah.
Derek says, Shelvey, the only player on the park with a Zimmer frame. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It only takes one pass, one shot to change the game. Unfortunately, at the minute, Shelvey, the only one who can do that in the middle. That's the point. He knows he won't be dropped. And then he goes on to say he needs to earn his place. You what, David?
Well, see, that's my point.
Yeah, but he also goes on to say, right? Oh, man. I've just lost me. There we are. He needs to earn his place. You can't. Nobody can tell me with a straight face that Shelvey has deserved his place in the team over these last 4 or 5 games.
Absolutely no chance.
David?
Well, you know my answer. It's going to be yes.
It's just no. I mean, wow. Ryan says, where's the Wonga sponsor on that top, David?
It got took off on the thingy because they stopped sponsoring it.
Yeah, they just...
Yeah, but why? They went bust. But why have you took it off?
No, they come like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it came from that place known as China. And he says, R.I.P. Paul, thanks very much, mate. I think, my blood pressure is just...
I had a black and white top with Northern Rock on it, but it had the
Virgin, wasn't it?
Virgin money stuck over the top of it.
Gets stuck over.
Yeah, I remember that. That was terrible, that.
David,
I remember that.
David, mate, you should write it down you should write it down and say, this shirt is sponsored by Tinky Winky.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Shelvey's name on the front of it.
Oh, God.
No.
Seriously, please, David, please just get up now, right? After this show, get up, have a nice little walk to the kitchen, have a little drink of water, then go into the bathroom and please take your face for a shit, right? Because you need to start sorting yourself out, mate. Because I mean, you're coming out with Tosh. I mean, I love you, David, but you're coming out with Tosh, mate. You really are. I mean, Andrew says, one player I would love to see at Newcastle, and this is genuine, is Todd Cantwell from Norwich. Yes, he's been mentioned a few times. I think Cantwell's a good player. I also like the guy at West Brom, who's on loan from Chelsea, Gallagher. He's a top player as well. And he says, I'm going to see Henry Lansbury on the next one. God help you. Andrew says, is that the last appearance of Shah in a Toon shirt? Is it true? His contract is. If he does well at the Euros, he can join another team for free to get wages off the books. Gallagher Schutz said that. Yeah, I also said that last night, by the way. Peter will back me up. I said that on the show last night. that Shah's new contract does have something in it that states that if he has a good Euros and a top team comes in for him, he can go on a free, which I think is just the
bizarre,
most stupid. Well, it's whoever deals with the contracts, isn't it? I mean, how many times have we seen ridiculous contracts by Newcastle United?
Too many. Far too many.
Yeah.
I'd happy to bring Jetwell back, mate.
I'd love to see
I think
Jetwell back.
there was talk about that again, wasn't there? He's a free.
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, this is a big.
He replied to
summer
my
coming up
tweet
for the
on
club.
Twitter, so I'm famous for that now too.
Did he?
Yeah.
What was in his?
Jayde.
Jayde. What was in the tweet? Was it like, "Hello, Jetro. This is Jayde.
Trying to come back to town.
Please come back to the Toon."
Yeah. I said thank you, and I was like, sorry that I didn't end the way you wanted. And he was like, thank you for your kind words. Hopefully to see you soon. I was like, okay.
Oh wow, yeah. Were you sending him naughty pics and things like that, Jayde, just to get his attention?
No,
wow.
Just a black and white love heart. That's all I said.
I bet it was.
He appreciated
it was. Yeah, but that just sums up the guy, though, doesn't it? He took the time to reply. That's what kind of guy he is. James says, anyone watched the Vars yesterday? Great game of football, much better than the Dross on Sunday. Dare say the concert of Heaven would give our first team a good run. Well, Jade's a Heaven fan, so I was expecting her to come on the show tonight still highly hungover, but apparently she's not. So it was a great game.
Played for us. He
did.
He plays for Heaven now, but he obviously was in Newcastle. He was in the first team a couple of times as well, so he's a great player.
Yeah. It was a brilliant final. It was great football to watch. So, right, we'll finish up with these comments. You what, David?
I'm a Blythe fan.
Thanks for that. Anyway,
actually, I've been to watch him play before.
Yeah,
like on these scenes.
Yeah. JL said you can't come from behind like that. No, worst part was Steve crying about it post match. Well, Steve cries anything apart from put the blame on himself, to be honest. Cantwell for me. Are Newcastle looking to rescind the red card? Haven't heard anything yet.
They might be trying to appeal it.
Yeah, I would appeal it, even if it gets turned down. Simply because I think a majority of people thought it was a yellow card, but then again, Shah's probably hoping that it stays because I really think he wanted to get sent off. Andrew says, now see, Paul, that's the problem here. There's no optimism. If we beat Man City, I'll remind you. You know what it is, Andrew? If we beat Manchester City, right? Listen, if we beat Manchester City, I will eat a tub of yogurt, right? I hate yogurt. I literally throw up every time I have yogurt, right? So there you go. If we beat Man City, I'll eat a tub of yogurt.
On fan forum.
Yes, thanks, Jayde. You'll not let me forget, I know. But there you go. So I'm that confident we'll not get anything off Man City. Shah might have got away with that challenge in the 80s, but in today's game, it's a red card all day long. Thoughts about the sin bin in rugby being introduced to English football? Apparently, it was in use during the FA Vars final yesterday. I don't agree with it in football. It worked in the sport I played, ice hockey. It worked. You could bat 10 bells shit out of someone and get 5 minutes in the penalty box instead of getting thrown in jail. So it was quite nice. James Brown, good idea. Shelvey trains with a Zimmer frame. Sorry about the background noise. Granddaughter borrowed me good headphones. Yeah, it's all right, Dave. No worries. Right, we'll finish off the comments and then we'll get some predictions. John Joe Shelvey was good at the time, but as players get older, then come down the hill. But I wonder who's been plucking chickens for red and white. And he says Clark Harris, he's 26. Also, Sammy Smuddix, who's, of course, ex-Bristol City. Good players. You don't like him, David?
Don't like Clark.
Why?
Harris. Well, because I used to go to MK Dons games and he spoke nonsense about MK Dons. So,
but you speak nonsense about Shelvey, but we still like you. No, in fact, I go as far to say, David, as you talk absolute bullrot about John Joe Shelvey, but we still like you. You know, so it's a bit unfair for you to say, well, he said this. When you speak under shite week in, week out about John Joe Shelvey. But we still like you. So do you not think you're being a bit harsh?
No, it's just I don't like hands free either.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I
Simon
don't
Sonny
like
Cowell is on the show.
Lansbury. Never liked them.
Henry Lansbury deserves to get the flack for what he did, but you know what it is? David, seriously, man. You know, I think you're going to have to wipe your mouth with toilet paper after the show. Would you guys play Carroll, Wilson and Gale against Sheffield United if we need to score?
No.
There's no chance.
Wilson, yes. The other two,
There's no chance of Bruce doing that anyway, really. Do you think that if Newcastle stay up, they might go the extra mile and train twice a week? Probably not, no.
Pigs will be flying before that happens.
Will Newcastle relegate West Brom if you win on Friday? I think we will, but we're not going to win, so that's not even going to be in contention. Rather than take a chance against Fulham, 26 million West Ham got him. That must be Ben Rama.
Yes, I've actually checked and I've got him permanent, actually.
Bastards. That's annoying. We continue to be linked with Aya from Celtic centre half, but he's too expensive.
Everyone's too expensive.
Exactly. Christ, Stephen, I wondered what you were doing there.
Having me medication.
I was going to say this isn't a Monday night, mate, especially live. Jesus Christ. Andrew says Souček is class. Yes, he is. I'd love to see Souček at Newcastle.
He's trying to kiss Shelvey. He's trying to kiss Shelvey.
Yeah, oh God. Plus, for people knock you down when you have to stand back up against NUSC, losers, there's momentum till the takeover happens, which I strongly believe in, apart from the big six clubs who are scared of NUFC. Yeah. Class show tonight, guys. Thank you, mate. Brucey Ball is better to watch now. Oh, give it a rest, will you? You're as bad as bloody
You're
David.
a Mackham, you, ain't you?
He is a Mackham, without a shadow of a doubt. Go on, Jayde. Get in there. See, I've got someone else to fire the bullets for me now. Yeah. I don't have to do it all myself.
Take on one of both of them.
Yeah. Do you just watched it on Netflix? Class. Thanks, Andrew. Our regular Netflix correspondent is Andrew. Puts up some good shows on Netflix. Last couple now. Also, we had top manager, then Shelvey would not be playing. Damn right he wouldn't. Thanks, everyone. Really helped me recover. Really appreciate it, Paul. One day I want to come on. See you soon. Keep it faith. We'll be okay. Good luck with your recovery, Andrew. I know we have banter on here, but I genuinely mean that, mate. I hope you get that leg sorted soon. Dave, got to go. Paul and everyone's great show. See you all soon. Thanks, Dave. Take care. Gary says Steve Bruce is too shoff to take Shelvey off since he's crap. Yeah. Well said. Jethro's a good player. Have a great week, all. Top show. Thank you, Paul and team. Andrew, love Stephen's wallpaper. Well, I know one thing. It's better than bloody John Sinclair's. The Cribs man himself. You just don't know where he's going to broadcast from next. You know what? He was on live just before we came on. I was watching a bit of his live stream. He had some Derby fans on. He was talking about Derby County. I mean, he will do anything to get a live stream on. You know what I mean? He had two Derby fans on. I'm thinking, John, what have you got to do with Derby? You know, and that's what I take the mickey out of him for, because he has like 9,000 streams a week and he just puts anything out there. Top guy though, John. I love you, really, mate. You know I do. Bruce has outdone Klopp and Mourinho this season. That is a Mackham. That is a Mackham. How confident are you we'll still get our Saudi takeover in the summer? Fingers and toes crossed. I'm not even going to discuss it until it's announced, to be honest. I can't. There's no point. And he says, what did you say about my good player? I've got no idea who you're talking about, Annie. The team lacked any motivation against Arsenal. The team's mentality is simply wrong and deserves to be in the Championship despite there being worse teams than us.
I think they are.
Yeah.
Not many.
Right. Prediction time, guys. David, we'll start with you. Give us a prediction for Friday.
2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah, see you, David. Right, that was David, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming on, and we'll see you next week. Stephen, give us a prediction for the weekend, mate.
3-1 Leicester.
3-1 Leicester. Brilliant. Right, get yourself back on next week, Stephen. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Yeah. Take care. So that was Stephen. I think his internet was going a bit funny there. We'll get a bit of shotgun reception. Archer, Chickenhead, give us a prediction for Friday.
I think we're gonna get beat on Friday. So
yeah,
I'm gonna go with possibly 2-0 Leicester.
Right. Yeah, we've had a 2-0. I think someone else said 2-0 to Leicester, but it was
2-0.
only...
Either 2-0 or 2-1 Leicester.
Yeah, I just can't see us even scoring. Not playing the way we did. Right, Archer, get yourself back on next week. We'll see what disguise you come in next Tuesday, mate.
Catch you later.
Take it easy, buddy. See you soon.
Yeah.
And Peter, it's down to you. Prediction
I think
for
I'm going to
Friday
go with
night.
the same as Archer and Annie, 2-0 to Leicester. Unfortunately, I think, we could be in for a defeat on Friday, unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it.
Right, brilliant. Well, thanks for coming on, Peter. Anything coming up on your channel this week, bud?
Just the usual preview, quick thoughts, player ratings, and there's going to be a stream on Saturday.
Right, what's the stream about?
Well, we've said it, but I would like to get other people's other opinions. Is Steve Bruce the worst we've had as manager at this club?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good talking point. I will say yes already. Everybody. Yeah. Nice one, buddy. Catch you later on in the week, mate.
Bye.
See you later, man.
Take care. So there you have it. I mean, me and Jayde will give obviously our predictions on the show on Thursday night, because coming up on the channel, obviously, we have on Thursday, we are on at 8:30, a little bit later, but the Leicester guy is doing a preview before that, so obviously I said he'd come on the show anyway, so a bit later on. That time's okay with you, Jayde, yeah?
Oh, yeah, that's good. I finished work by then, so we're all good.
Yeah. So it's press conference reaction and match preview, and me and Jayde will be joined by Chris from Leicester Till I Die TV. Top lad, top fella. It should be interesting to get his view on Newcastle United and also how Leicester City are doing. And then, of course, 10 p.m. on Friday night. Straight after the game, we've got the Leicester City versus Newcastle United match reaction live with myself and Missy down there again. So talking about the game, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we might actually get some sort of result. I can't see it, but as I say, me and Jayde, yeah, it does. Me and Jayde will give our predictions for that on the Thursday night show. Thank you for all the comments again. And those of you that didn't see the show last night with the Four Horsemen, Joe Linton announced his new tattoo.
Oh, gosh.
So John was pretty made up with that. So
I love John's face in the background. He's like,
yeah. So look how gentle Joe Linton looks, man. He looks so cute, doesn't he?
Man.
Yeah, just with his little tattoo there. So
cute
bless
couple.
him. I know, it's so cute. But that's it for tonight. Jayde, obviously, we now got a couple of days off from YouTube, and we'll be back Thursday night with the preview, and obviously any news that comes out from Newcastle United between now and then, we'll have a chat about that. But thank you again for joining me. I mean, now that your feet are well under the table now as my co-host, so it's going great guns. So thank you again, and we'll both see you bright and bushy-tailed on Thursday night at 8:30. Don't forget to join us in the live comments and get your predictions in for the Leicester game. But in the meantime, good night, everybody.
Night.
Strong.